Hey everybody, Will835, and this is my review of the E-flite Spitfire. This is an 1100 millimeter warbird, as you can tell. And another thing you can tell about this thing is that it's beautiful. Paint scheme looks great. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this is really a beautiful plane. They did a great job with this. What I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about this very quickly, then we'll go fly it, then we'll talk about my thoughts about the plane afterwards, as long as it survives, of course. You never know with these maiden flights, but let's go take a quick look at what we got going on over here. Alright, so we're looking at the pilot. Nothing too crazy in there, just the typical pilot who has a very orangey looking face. Other than that, let's look at what we have under the hood. There is where I put my battery. That is a 2200 3S LiPo battery, 45C, as you can see. I push it all the way to the front to get the CG to be right. So really there's nothing else I can do. If it was tail heavy, I'd have to add weight to it. In this case, it was just right, and by pushing the battery as far forward as I can, it basically has it so that the center of gravity is perfect. Alright, so now I'm going to see if I can demonstrate to you what it looks like when the landing gear goes up. So let's try that out. Hopefully I can do this right. There you go. Pretty much basic type things. Nothing really too crazy or different from the other models. Here is the flaps.
Takeoff flaps.
Now the flaps on this thing looks really cool. Let me see if I can show that to you. Let's see. Let me move the camera down here. And here's landing flaps, of course, or full flaps. Again, there's takeoff flaps and flaps up. So nothing, again, too crazy, but it does look pretty cool. I like the fact that it's not the whole wing simulating the flaps, but it actually does come. It's a plastic piece down at the bottom that actually comes down for flaps, so that looks good. Alright, like I said, this is the 1100 millimeter wingspan warbird from E-flite. It has AS3X, so it does it will make it a little bit easier to fly. And let's stop talking about it and let's go check it out, and let's fly this sucker. Alright everyone, I'm back from the field, and this plane flew so good. I have to say it was windy, gusting, I'm not sure the miles per hour, but it definitely was giving it a little bit of a challenge for sure to fly it. But you know, because AS3X was there, I wasn't really too worried about it. It took it with ease, and I loved flying this plane. It was really good. Thing that I noticed, and what you saw on the video, or what you saw in the video, was that it does not do well in grass. I couldn't get that thing to take off. You know, the grass in the field was still fairly tall, I guess, but just could not get that sucker to go. And then when I finally did, by putting it on the runway, you really had to manage that rudder really well. Otherwise, you'll do what I did, or do something even worse. But basically, the plane was coming right towards me, and I decided to abort that flight, which is, I mean, it didn't damage anything. It just kind of scared me a little bit, just because I didn't really want to mess it up. But all in all, once I did get it going, and I figured out that I need to make sure I had my finger ready to rock on that rudder, you know, it was able to fly really well. There was really no surprises when I was flying it. Just a nice flying plane. You know, landings can always get better. That little tip over at the very end there on my flight was, you know, it's my fault. Obviously, I'm the one flying it. But you know, it's not hard to land it at all. Full flaps just really kind of gets it kind of floaty, and you know, I wanted to bring it down. I was out of time, so I kind of forced it a little bit. So you know, that's what happens when you do. Overall, like I said, what a great plane. I love it, and you know, definitely couldn't go wrong with this sucker. You can fly scale with it. It doesn't have a ton of power, but you know, when you're flying this kind of plane, if you want to fly scale, it's perfect. If you want to do some loops and some barrel rolls and some simple 3D type maneuvers, it could do it, no problem. So that's it, really. You know, if you have any questions, concerns, or whatever, you know what to do. Put some comments on the bottom, and I'll try to get to you as soon as I can. Will Nate 35 signing off. Have a good day, everyone.